Welcome to Screen Recaps, and today we are going to recapping the movie Pandemonium. Nathan awakens in the middle of the road, realizing he's been in a car accident. His car is wrecked, but he is unscathed. Daniel, the motorcyclist Nathan collided with, also appears unharmed. Daniel asks if Nathan remembers exiting his car, but Nathan, attributing it to shock and a head injury, doesn't recall. Daniel then reveals they're dead and now ghosts. Daniel, having arrived first, initially denied it, but sees no other explanation. Nathan checks his car, finding his crushed body inside, which triggers an existential crisis about his friends and kids. Daniel notes missing his wife and finds it odd Nathan didn't mention his children's mother. As Nathan panics, Daniel insists on facing reality, even showing Nathan his body. A passing driver robs Nathan's body, confirming their ghostly state. Nathan, now accepting his fate, admits to killing his wife out of mercy. Suddenly, Daniel hears music and a white door appears. Snow covering the area, Nathan hears screams from a newly appeared red door. They deduce the white door leads to heaven and the red door to hell, signifying Nathan's punishment for his wife's death. Nathan freaks out, explaining he killed his sick wife out of mercy. Daniel ignores him and tries to cross the white door, but Nathan pushes him aside and crosses first. Nothing happens. Daniel suggests Nathan should behave better to get a better outcome. Nathan apologizes for not seeing Daniel's bike, and Daniel admits he was distracted by a little girl. They hug goodbye, but Daniel's attempt to cross also fails and the music stops. A voice speaks, revealing the girl Daniel saw. She explains a biker hit her, and Daniel confesses he had been drinking, realizing he killed her. They try guiding her to the door, but she distrusts them and screams. Frustrated, Daniel throws her into the white door, making it vanish. Accepting their fate, Nathan kicks Daniel into the red door. A monstrous creature appears, forcing a terrified Nathan to follow. In hell, he encounters Jean and sees her memories of parental arguments, her father's fear of her, and her violent tendencies, including strangling birds and harming her sister. Jean knows her parents fear her because she's hurt them while they slept, leading them to lock her in a room every night. When her therapist asks about her sister, Jean refuses to talk. The next morning, she demands breakfast, but receives no response. Later, she eats cereal, her clothes covered in blood, with her parents dead nearby. Confirming their deaths, she kisses her mother goodbye, makes bread with jam, and goes to the basement, resembling a huge cave, to feed Tony, a deformed humanoid. Jean assumes Tony killed her parents, but he denies it. She invites him to live upstairs. Tony is amazed by sunlight and clean water. After dressing in her father's clothes, Tony helps Jean move the bodies. Jean stages a play, imagining an audience accusing Tony of murder and forcing him to self-delete. Tony hides the mother's body and Jean jumps on the bed, recalling teasing her parents with a knife. Tony realizes he can't see his reflection, understanding he's Jean's dark side and that she killed her parents. They eat cereal and bread. When the mailman arrives needing a signature, Jean calls for Tony, but he doesn't respond. She gets a missed delivery card and searches desperately, seeing her creepy drawings. Eventually, she finds Tony in her parents' room, feeding on their bodies. Jean yells at Tony to stop as the door closes. Later, while her toys burn, Jean checks on her little sister, who is drawing a picture of the murder. Jean announces that Tony is hungry and takes her sister to the kitchen, where she pushes her into the oven and turns it on. Jean leaves the kitchen singing happily as shadows follow her on the walls. In hell, Nathan is horrified by what he has seen and crawls away. He finds a teenage girl and her mother, touching them to see their memories. The mother, Julia, struggles to make tea while holding back tears. She calls for her daughter Chloe but receives no answer, then notices a bloodstain on the table. Denying reality, Julia retrieves Chloe's body from a blood-filled tub and drags it to the kitchen table. She serves breakfast and talks about a vacation, flashing back to Chloe's misery at school and Julia's dismissal of her pleas. In the present, Chloe's body slides off the chair and a cat licks her self-inflicted wound. Julia shoos the cat away, places Chloe in a wheelchair, and declares they're going on a trip. As she packs, she has another breakdown, covers Chloe with a blanket, and promises to homeschool her. Julia is shocked to find the front door blocked by a brick wall. The scene flashes back to Chloe's harrowing experience in a bathroom stall, bullied and humiliated by her classmates. In the present, Julia's neighbor, mistaking noises for distress, enters Julia's home only to discover Chloe's lifeless body, sending Julia into a panicked attempt to flee with Chloe. Tragically distracted, Julia crashes the car, reawakening memories of Chloe's suicide. Rescued but distraught, Julia is torn from the wreckage as emergency responders confirm Chloe's fate. Meanwhile, Nathan faces a tormenting ordeal in the afterlife, enduring the devil's cruel judgment and isolation. As Nathan grapples with despair, he encounters Billy, a twisted soul who violently attacks him, leading to Nathan's spiritual destruction and subsequent reincarnation. In the mortal realm, the devil orchestrates ominous events involving a newborn child, hinting at dark prophecies. Billy, tasked with a sinister mission, emerges in the baby's room, setting the stage for further diabolical schemes.
I thought I was